Hello, one and all, and welcome back to the Reserve List. Say hello, Reserve List.
Hello, Reserve
Hello,
List.
Reserve List.
I'd love to hear it. Guys, last time we left off, the band had traveled from Crossshire all the way to Menaceel, and on the way had some dreams, a forewarning by some unknown person whose silhouette was unknown to them as of this point, that Brandon Lagazi had gotten a new body and was getting ready to come after you. Following that, they decided to stay at the Menacing Mouse Inn and went to talk to Madame Mad, who flirted a bit with Gnurgle, told Gwen that her father is half Aruhani, gave them the name of somebody called Jane who works in the Dreamers Lounge, who might be able to tell them more about what happened to them, and said hoped that Isabyn would have fun meeting her family. That would be where we are now, but what we're actually going to do is we're going to go back in time to that second night on the road, and we're going to check in with what happened to our other two PCs who weren't here on the night when Gnurgle and Gwen saw this vision. And we're going to start with Lydiana. How does Lydiana dream a lot of the time, Hugo?
I think Lydiana struggles with what's dream and what's reality most of the time. She sees a vision of herself, and she's haunted by it. So she doesn't know whether it's a nightmare, whether she's asleep, whether she's dreaming, and she's kind of flittering in and out of reality quite a lot. So to know whether she's dreaming would be difficult, I think, for her to kind of explain. But so every now and again you may see her kind of a bit glazed over and kind of looking in a different way, or every now and again she might scream, and whether it's kind of moments of anxiety or her being momentarily petrified, she's it's a bit difficult. The drugs don't help as well, but she's trying to combat that.
Absolutely.
Self-medicating.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely. With Lydiana has a relationship with the realm of nightmares, which is a far more. It's problematic to have a relationship with the dreaming in any way, but having a relationship with the nightmares is not fun. Is at this point in time, and tonight, you definitely are not sure when you're slipping in and out of reality. What you experience this night is you open your eyes in your tent, and there is, or you guys stopped on the road and you were sort of in a room, I guess. You guys stayed at one of these inns on the road. So you're in your own room, and you can see the shadow of somebody moving in the corridor. And there's a creak of footsteps in the hall. And you hear a little la 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 in the hallway. And you feel that you have, if this is a dream, you have lucidity and sensation. You can move. Or if it's reality, it is reality. Upon hearing this, what does Lydiana feel, or what does she do?
She recognizes the tune, actually, and that's the thing that's kind of making her kind of struggle the most. Is she actually singing it herself? She's not quite sure. She kind of hums along with it as if, I don't know, just like when I don't know, a mother or father would sing a lullaby to you to sleep, and you're used to that sound, and you're just used to kind of singing it back in a soft way. So she kind of does the same, and kind of mimics it, but is kind of scared of the fact that she recognizes it. She's quite unsure as to how. So she's kind of drawn to it, to the sound outside, but is kind of cautious because she thinks that she's the one making it.
You hum along with this tune, and you can actually feel as this tune sort of sinks in, that sort of very lullaby-esque feeling is that it actually does start to ebb away at the anxiety a little bit. And your door opens and there's light in the hall, and in the hall is not yourself, but a little halfling girl that you don't necessarily recognize, who's humming this little tune. La 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 la.
How dark is it?
It's warm light in the hall. You can very clearly see her face, but there are shadows. Hi.
Who are you?
I'm like you. I come here sometimes.
What's your name?
I'm Sally.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Sally. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Thorogrove.
What brings you here today?
Well, I felt that there was somebody else in here, and I used to come here against my will a lot when I was younger. You see that she's very young already. She's like 13 at the most. Like when I was younger, I didn't have any control when I came here. And then somebody else found me and helped me to learn control.
At the words kind of against will and control, Lydiana takes a kind of half step back into the room that she is kind of peering out from. They're kind of triggering words in a way, and she's kind of fluttering her head and her eyes a little bit as to she kind of recognizes that feeling and sensation of those things, and says who and why, kind of what kept you here.
You say what kept you here, and she looks just over your shoulder and goes, that did.
Lydiana kind of screeches her head round on her shoulder to kind of really alarmingly quickly. Can she see anything?
Just behind you is a slightly grayscaled version of yourself, an exact replica of yourself.
Okay, she literally freaks and just jumps back, slams the door, and runs back into the room, finds any corner that she can be in.
Yeah, is the way that you envision this, is this with Sally in the room or out of the room with this?
Sally's still in the corridor, I think.
Yeah, so just behind you was this being, and then you slam the door on both yourself and Sally. And Sally will hum this tune again, and say, It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. I found a way. And the other one who showed me, he can show you as well.
She's trembling. She can kind of, it resonates, but she doesn't know why or what it means. But she's certainly trembling, sweating, and really fucking petrified about what just happened.
Eventually, you won't be the one who's afraid. It's everyone else. And you see this little halfling girl steps almost like a ghost through your door into the room and says, it's everyone else who will have to be afraid of you.
Okay.
There's a little glint of red light that comes out of her eyes. And from behind her, she takes out just a big knife. And she goes, Mr. Knife protects me. Mr. Knife can protect you, too.
Give it here.
Give it here. Roll me a persuasion check if you'd be so kind.
Persuasion. Oh, 20.
Natural?
A dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Dirty 20. I think so that's just really funny. She thinks about it for a second and then goes, I'll let you borrow him for tonight. And she'll flip the knife over, catch it by its point, and offer it to you, handle first.
I'm shaking. I don't even know whether this is real or whether it's see-through. So she puts her hand out and doesn't even believe that she's gonna grab hold of this.
It's a real knife.
Okay, she grabs it, very trembling.
All you gotta do for this point is stab her.
So I creep back up and kind of edge past her to kind of to the door and kind of creak the door open. Can I tell if there's a presence in the hall?
You can, in the exact same spot where it was before, with a very neutral expression. It looks like you.
Has she moved?
Hasn't moved.
Okay. So she creeps around with the knife, not even kind of in front of her chest, in front of her face, because she's using it to kind of protect herself, but she doesn't even want to look in front of her, so she's using it kind of in front of her eyes, pointing it outwards, and is kind of making little jabbing motions as she edges around. Has she moved at all as she does that?
This being does not move as you approach it in any way.
Okay. She kind of, as she edges around the door, she very quickly just pulls her arm back and throws the knife to spin it towards the kind of the chest of this of herself in front of her.
Very, very cool. I'm gonna roll a little die here. You feel a burning sensation in your own chest as this knife stabs into this being. And for a split second, it's this searing hot pain in your own chest. But that split second of pain goes very quickly. You do take 4 points of damage, but after that point, you see the knife rests in the ground and this copy of you is gone.
Okay. She checks herself. Can she see it in herself, or is it just an internal
No, it was the sensation of it without any wound or mark of any kind.
Okay. She kind of, with caution, but scrambles for the knife, and just tries her best to get back into the room, clutching her chest, and tries to get back to that kind of hiding spot she was in before as Sally approached her.
Sally will one more time. She'll sing this tune to try to soothe, and she will reach, asking for her knife back.
Yeah, my eyes are closed, but I can sense that she's doing it, and quivering, she kind of spins the knife round like Sally did to her and hand it back to her with the handle, but kind of refuses to look at her or kind of face everything that just kind of happened. She's just completely confused by it.
She takes the knife back and will just say, "See? You're stronger than the fear. You will learn how to navigate this place. You are stronger. Everything's going to be okay."
She's kind of weeping and nodding, but very slightly.
You have your eyes closed at this point. You just hear Sally go, "See? She is strong." And there's a male voice that says, "Very good. Very, very good." And you wake up in the morning. Nobody is in this room with you. The door is still closed. There's no sign that a knife ever entered the floorboards outside your room.
Very good.
There you go. Trippy AF. Heck yes. And then Tombar. Tombar in the night, slightly less eventful. You feel the same thing that these guys felt. You feel a presence reach out to you. Go ahead and roll me an insight check as this magical presence tries to reach out to you.
One insight coming up. Boom. 18.
18. You can feel that this sort of magical presence that's reaching out to you in your sort of lucid dreaming is not malevolent in any way. And so you kind of have the option to let this presence touch you or to resist it, or to try to resist it.
Touch away.
You feel this magic reach out to you, and you're willing to grab it. Another presence in your dream rebuffs this magic. And you feel that you are standing in a sort of desolate, black, sandy landscape with black roiling clouds and sort of little dust tornadoes, little sand devils that reach out in all directions. And standing next to you is Short Sam Gold, the ghost.
Hey. Okay.
Believe me, Tombar, you don't want to be dealing with none of that dream magic stuff.
Well, why not?
Even the best intended ones, they lead you to some real trippy stuff, right? And it's just not worth it. They can do weird things to your mind. The usual rules of the universe don't really apply here quite as much as they do in the real world.
And how do you know this?
I've lived a long and storied life, my friend. There are many adventures I've had with people who can dream in the more intense way. And it got real bad at one point. My entire crew were trapped in sort of a mist that a dreamer that it summoned, and it sort of phased us in and out of a dream state to the point where people thought that the others were turkeys and tried to eat them. And other people thought that they were like orcs and tried to kick each other off the boat, and it got really bad. It got really bad.
Interesting. But things aren't too bad for now, are they?
Well, I mean, at the moment, it shouldn't be that bad. We only felt one dreamer, and it didn't feel like they were trying to invade your dreams. It felt like they...
And why are you here in this dream?
Oh, so you having the book has sort of bound me to you, and I can sort of help out in the psychic places of your mind.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And is there anything that you could help me out with now?
Well, I mean, somebody's provided a safe dream bubble in the nightmare realm, it looks like. Seeing as you're in a lucid dreaming state and I'm here, we could practice some forms for you. I know that we could work on your footwork and your sleight of hand.
Sweet, this is Matrix, isn't it?
This is Matrix. This is the Matrix. We're gonna have a training montage.
Yes! Yay! Matrix! It's gonna be my Morpheus and Neo moment. This is great. Sweet. Cool. Show me a thing or two.
Short Sam Gold sort of manifests a ghost cutlass and gives one to you, and will sort of go, now, here are some of the things that you need to know if you're going to be swashbuckling. And he'll show you some ways, especially to fight like dirty. It's like your opponents, if they're sort of more classically trained, they're going to expect you to behave a certain way. Headbutt those people in the nose. And then
sand in people's faces.
Throw sand in people's faces. Kick your shoe off at them. Like all kinds of weird stuff. It's all good. Anything goes, as long as you're not the one with a knife in their neck at the end of the fight. You've won.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't really matter how you get there.
Splendid.
He'll also show you pickpocketing techniques. He will he'll be like, how are you at sort of your sort of tumbling? How are you like climbing and acrobatics and that kind of thing?
I'm pretty clumsy. Maybe you could give me a few tricks on that one.
100%. You're gonna need all of this, especially if you're gonna be like a world-class pirate. This gets exponentially more hard when you're on a boat as well. So if we can get you working on it, get your land legs under you first. This will be good. Yeah, and he will help to show you in sort of like a training montage kind of way some of the tricks. You can tell from looking at him that this guy was really something in his day. Like this guy knew how to fight. And he'll run you through as well. He'll run like, are you much of a con man? Do you like to run sort of cons on people?
Oh yeah, well I'm a pirate.
100%.
I'm essentially an aggressive seafaring con man.
You and I think, are going to get along really well, do get along really well, and would have had a great time when I was alive.
I know, I was born in the wrong century.
Tell me about it. I mean, who knows? Maybe I would have achieved my goals of immortality had I lived a few hundred years later. Who knows?
Turns. So, Brendan Lagazi.
Oh, right. You want to talk about the Legazis? More than fine.
Lagazi.
Sure.
Was it Lagazi that was wandering off into the Nightmare Realm, or the portal thing?
You know that it was Brandon Lagazi who sort of mind-controlled all those people and opened a portal to the Nightmare Realm and summoned forth some being of fear.
There's Brendan Lugazi. Brendan Lugazi's done that. Brendan Lugazi is back on the scene.
At this moment, you don't actually know that.
Oh, right, cool. So I don't know that. Okay, cool.
But he's like, you know what you're going to need if you're going to survive. Because from what you told me about the thing I wrote you found in my book, is that he's something called a soul-caged hollow, right? Horrifying monster. Well, basically you rip out a person's soul and then you stick it back in their body and with like soul cage around it. It's a whole thing. Basically, killing him won't kill him permanently, right? You're gonna need some way when you get to Menacil to hurt a person's soul or to dispel very powerful magic is what you're gonna need in order to actually bring this guy down.
Oh, so like offending them?
Well, I suppose, I did meet a man once who was able to make a man bleed out of his ears just by mocking him.
Wow.
That was pretty intense, honestly. I thought that was very cool.
Interesting. I'm gonna offend Brendan Lugazi to death.
You could offend him to death. I don't actually know if psychic damage would hurt his soul more than regular
magic.
Very interesting to think about.
Okay.
Listen, I don't know if any of my old contacts are still alive. If they are, probably they'd have to be, one of my elven contacts. We're not even near. We're a little ways from the Arahani border of the ocean, coastline. When you get to town, check and see if you can find any tritons or sea elves or people like that. See if you can find an old pirate. Let me quickly see if I can come up with a name for an old elvish pirate. You're going to want to look for
Pointy black sails. Sorry.
No, black sails. Let's do it.
Pointy black sail.
I like it. So I like it. Yeah, his real name was Raynar, but everyone called him Pointy because of his ears. So a pointy black sails. See if that guy's still around, and if he is, see if he's got some of his old fences still up. We might be able to get some black market magic items to help deal with Brandon Lugazi.
Interesting. Nice one.
Heck
see
yeah.
That pointy black sails.
When you're in the city, you're going to want to ask around where you're going to want to look first. It's been a while since I was in Menacil, honestly. We mostly worked in the other place. We worked in Gadan, which is on the Arohani side of things. But we came in for business a few times. You might want to go to the merchant's quarter to have a look for him. Well, unlikely he'd be
quarter, black sail.
Black sail.
Sweet.
After your experience in the night, do either Tombar or Lydiana tell anybody else what happened?
Absolutely not, from my perspective.
Absolutely not. Tombar, do you say anything about Short Sam Gold and your time spent training with him? I think that Short Sam Gold will say to you,
I think my instinct is to not to, but
he'll kind of go like, yeah, you haven't. I know you haven't mentioned to anybody that you've got a ghost in a book, as of yet. Were you planning on telling people about me? He's gonna just ask in your dream before you wake up.
I would like to, but I don't know if they would believe me.
I mean, there are all sorts of crazy magic. I'm sure that they would believe you. I'm just worried because I can't talk to them. That I'll come across as sounding like I'm an evil ghost possessing you. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Are you? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, you've got complete control of your own body. The most I can do is make your hair rustle in the wind. With the sort of corporealness that I have.
That'd be good for like moments when I want to be impressionable, and I can be like, shh.
Honest to goodness, I can help you look super cool sometimes if you'd like.
Yeah, like make my clothes swish in the breeze.
I would love to make your honest to goodness. I bought a coat, a magically enchanted coat when I was alive that would swish as though there were a breeze at any given moment, just so that I would look cooler.
Nice, sweet, cool. So you know what? Sod it. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna tell the rest of the group.
I'm just worried that they'll want to exorcise the book. I'm concerned because I'm a ghost, and usually the thing to do in this situation is to exorcise the cursed item, because technically I am a cursed item, and I'm worried that they'll just want to do that. And I'm already dead, and I don't want to move on to the beyond. I'd much rather help you to learn how to be a pirate.
Okay, cool. Let's keep it on the down low.
I'd appreciate that.
Fair enough. You know, yeah, kind of student mentor confidentiality. Yeah. I mean, and look, I'm here to help you become the best pirate that you can be in the world, right? So nice. I'm here. You want to ask me advice? You want me to make your coat billow? You want more training sessions to get even stronger? Like, that's what I'm here for. So we have all risen from our slumber.
So you all rise from your slumber. Tombar, Lydiana, don't talk about what happened to them in the night. But Gwen and Gnurgle will tell everybody that they had this crazy dream with this person showing them that Brandon Legazi's getting ready to come and get ya. But between Isabyn, Tombar, and Lydiana, it feels like you three haven't had this experience in the night. So Gwen and Gnurgle tell you guys about that. You have another day's journey, and you make it to the big city. Just a quick little recap of what the city looks like. On the way to the city, you saw that there were a bunch of Aruhani people who were traveling to the city, like a lot more than normal. And through a conversation found out that there is a census that is being done in Aruhan. And so all of the Aruhani citizens who are living or working in Garandia are leaving the country through Menacil and going back to Aruhan. Mm-hmm. And then the actual city itself, it's right on the border of, again, like Aruhan, which is a neighboring human kingdom, and Care, which is this big desert somewhere in which are Dragonborn. It's the Dragonborn kingdom. So this is a fortress city, and while it hasn't actually seen combat in the 600 odd years since it was built, it's built to withstand a siege. The walls are thick and very tall. The guards look well trained, if potentially a little green. Some of these guys will have come from the College of Swords in Crusher, where you guys were. And yeah, it's like a crush of bodies to get in. The Aruhani seem to be going through to the merchants and the diplomats' quarters to continue out and across the border to Aruhan for this census. Isabyn arranges for a place for you to stay. And what we're just gonna move along and say, because you were not there for the conversation with Madame Mad, is there anything in particular that you guys would like to have done during that first sort of afternoon when you were arrived? Menacil, Tombar, and Lydiana.
Lydiana, do you want to go first? I haven't decided yet what I was doing.
Yeah, not necessarily for me at the moment. If you wanted to do something, Tombar.
Oh, or maybe we've been doing something together. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we could be playing tennis. I don't know.
We got a room above an inn, have we?
You do have a room above an inn.
Yeah.
If you wanted to go and check out something sport-y, if you did, there's an option for that. There is sort of a jousting field in the diplomats' quarters.
What if in like a drunken stupor I have asked Lydiana out on a date?
Jousting.
Yeah, and we got it's the evening's planned out. We got jousting followed by a nice meal. And Lydiana's accepted whilst coming down on some shrooms and the effects have still worn off. And well, so Lydiana
let Hugo let Lydiana have Hugo have control over what Lydiana does or doesn't do in her role play. You can suggest this as an evening for sure.
Lydiana might see this actually as an opportunity to as a kind of reasoning behind her clutching her chest and kind of limping around. It pricks her ear when he says jousting, so that while she's kind of limping around and clutching her chest, she can say that it was Tombar's lance.
Yeah.
Glorious. You guys go on a date. Obviously Tombar said that he's drunk. Lydiana, have you done drugs? Have you pre-drunk?
No, I'm in pain and kind of actually kind of limping a bit. She kind of entertains Tombar's kind of suggestion, but only for her own benefit of a cover story. She's still very much phased and in pain and confused, I think, but she's very much trotting behind Tombar and leading him on, I'd say.
I thought we had something.
Tease.
Could you each give me an athletics check if you'd be so kind?
Fucking hell, here we go.
As you
it was all a laugh.
Amateur jousting.
Right. Like in a rogue go jousting.
Because the athletics check is for the jousting. 13.
Okay.
1 second. Oh fuck. 10.
10. Okay. This might actually go the way Lydiana wants. Lydiana, could you give me a strength saving throw, if you'd be so kind?
Yeah. 11.
Yeah. You two amateur joust. You're in protective sort of padding, armor, and stuff. And sort of very flat lances. Tombar unseats Lydiana. And you go tumbling to the ground, having been hit very hard in the chest with a lance.
She's struggling, but she's got a glint in her eye here, and she kind of makes a really big fuss about how Tombar's really fucked her chest up.
Sorry, that's an interesting choice for words. And I'm like, oh no, let me. I immediately assume that she's unconscious and start doing mouth to mouth. With like, the kind of.
What, on her chest where you just lanced her?
Because first aid is paramount importance.
You hear a little voice in your head, Tombar, that goes, I really don't want to butt in on your date, but you really this is not what you want to do with your date. You don't unseat your date in a jousting match and then do chest compressions. I think she's breathing okay.
All right.
I'm kind of screaming, like shouting at this point in pain.
Oh no!
Some people who run this place come over and one of them has like a little healing word, little cure wounds that they'll put on you. Go ahead and regain 6 hit points, Lydiana.
Okay. How many did I lose through the ordeal first?
Only 4. Okay.
So back up to.
Oh, you mean through the jousting ordeal?
Yeah. On top of the stabbing incident.
Right. Let's do just basic d6 of fall damage. 1 point of fall damage.
Okay. Perfect. So I'm back at.
You're back at full health.
I'm still fucking grumpy with Tombar though.
I thought it was going great. Oh, we had some chemistry. I'm sorry. Do you want to go for drinks?
Yeah, I kind of roll my eyes and start saying, "Let's just get back to the team."
I asked Short Sam Gold to make my coat and hair switch.
Yeah, 100%.
Like the L'Oreal commercial, I think. I'm like, Lydiana, you sure? I'm buying. With money I stole.
Let's get back to the crew and I'll think about it.
Okay.
Incredible. You guys get back to the menacing mouse. In Gnurgle, you've had your date with Madame Mads, or Madame Mad, rather. Isabyn, you are, and you guys are all together, sort of in the inn. You know that Gwen has sort of retired a bit earlier tonight and gone up to her room. But is there anything communally you guys would like to do before the evening is out?
Good for me, man.
Good for you.
Oh, good for me.
No, I'm groovy.
Amazing. You guys head to your respective rooms. And we're going to pick up with where we left off with Gwen at the end of last session, which is her having a telepathic conversation with her mum, Sylvana, who's just said ascending, and then you sent one back. You were asking about your dad, right? It was...
Yeah. I don't remember exactly what I said, and I just know I was distressed. I think I apologized for being a bad daughter, but I might have done that in my letter to her.
Right.
For all the shit I put her through. It was something along those lines. And did you know that dads have Haruhani?
Oh, yeah.
It's confusion.
Yeah, 100%. There are a couple of minutes of silence after you respond to the sending. And then you hear one more time in your head, you hear your mother's voice. You hear, "Give me another 5 minutes. I'm going to the post office and I'll send you something so we can talk more normally."
Okay. Thanks. I'm staying at the Menacing Mouse Inn. Do you need to know, or do you just know? I don't know anymore.
Yes, I 100% did and completely forgot to ask. Comes back. Thanks so much for letting me know. Oh wow, you hear this almost like one stream, but she's like obviously gotten out a map. It's like, oh wow, you're like way on the other end of Gyrendia. You're like right on the border.
Yeah. It's torn with my band.
About 5 minutes pass, and you see a little blue swirl opens up in the air, and a little flat, like almost like an ideal skipping stone falls through with some runes on it. And it sort of falls to the ground face up, and a projection of your mum comes out of it, Star Wars style.
She'll very awkwardly just kind of like tidy up because she doesn't know at this point if her mom can see her, but like just in case. Hey!
She looks at you and sort of goes, Gwen, it's so good to see you. I didn't want to sort of give you sort of a really easy way of talking to me at first, because you were setting out on your own and you wanted to do your independent thing, and I didn't want to, but it felt like it was important to give you one of these for this particular conversation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you respecting that in the first place, though. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Yes, so you obviously have met your father, which wasn't something I was necessarily expecting.
Me and I.
Cool. Yeah. And you have questions, and that's normal. And I am here. I'm trying to support. I'm here to support you. So you've given me new information. First off, I'll say that I didn't know your father was half Arohani.
Found out from she's a divination wizard named Madame Mads.
Oh,
I think you might know. She's been trying to get a shop over there.
Yeah. I remember this was almost 200 years ago that she tried to do that. Yeah, she was working with all kinds of really weird magic. The interior of her shop is actually the same dimensional space, no matter where it shows up.
About that.
And there was a potential for the dreaming to not mix very well with the divination stuff that she was doing. So we thought it best that she not set up shop in Thorn Grove.
Well, if that makes sense. If you ever wind up in contact with her again, can you let her know that I said something? Because she said I wouldn't, and I want to prove her wrong.
What did she say you wouldn't say?
Oh, she didn't believe that I would recommend her to you guys. And I wasn't going to, but then she said that she didn't believe I would, and then I decided I was going to then. So
very cool. Proving an oracle wrong in their predictions is always super fun. Absolutely.
That was the reason why, not spite. That was why.
Sure. Yeah.
Not like pepper and a spite. Little.
It was definitely an experiment in divination magic and not spite.
Right. Sure. Yeah. I will. If I meet with her, I will let her know. Okay. Yeah. Let's. I'm not going to presume to know what you would like to ask me. First of all, are you doing well? How is your band doing? And how are you?
We're doing great. We're doing very well. Yeah. We've had a few write-ups in the papers. If you want, I don't know if you get the Grandian Gazette there, but I mean, if you want, Ted, I could send you some clippings if you wanted. But we're doing well. It's a bit of a weird group, but I like them. But it's definitely a bit of a weird group. And I don't really know what I'm doing. but there's someone in the group who I think knows what she's doing, and I can get behind that. And I'm doing... I ran into Dad.
Right.
And are you familiar with the Legazis?
I know that I've heard that name before, but I don't know where off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm. They don't like us, the band, big
Okay.
time.
Are they a rival band or something?
No, they're like some kind of there's someone Dad has to deal with.
Okay. All right.
They're like, I guess, a really old family. And they have some things to do with like resurrecting people in jars and then sending them back after us because we killed them the first time because they were terrorizing an entire town and controlling people's minds to get them to kill people. And they have there was like a rip or something to the nightmare. They can do that.
Okay.
So that's what's happening with me.
Okay.
I met another half elf. She seems pretty cool.
That bit sounds great. The bit before that, I'm still sort of processing that.
Me too.
Okay. So, so you are fully dealing with adventure stuff, and you were supposed to be in a band in one of the safest kingdoms in Sigalia, and I've sent my daughter into a death trap, and that's not okay.
I also don't think that missionaries of Bane are big fans of us either. I think that's another thing. If
Managed to piss off Aruhani sort of like soldiers, like actual sort of Templars of Bane. You managed to. You're on the border with Aruhan right now.
Yeah.
In a city where they can more or less walk openly.
Yeah, they're going. There's a bunch of them going through it right now, and I noticed on the map that we have that the family has a house here. But I guess it doesn't make any difference because apparently our family's already involved with them anyway through Dad, because they're like working together or something, and he says he has reasons for it. And I said, are those like, is it for your job? And he's like, for what I'm working towards. And I'm like, yeah, but like your job, what you're working towards, or like something else that you're working towards that you didn't tell us about. So that's where we're at. And I don't think any of us are prepared for this. So I thought maybe it would help if I called my mom.
Okay, so I'm very, very glad that you did. Before I even talk about any of the other stuff, I can arrange for you and your friends to seek asylum in Thorogrove. We can get you out of Metaseal, and next to people, part of my job is dealing with dream stuff. If there's somebody who can open portals to the nightmare, that's really bad, but there are people who can deal with that. We've got intelligence resources. We can find out who these Legazi people are. So first things first, we're going to get you to safety, right?
I would have to talk to the other members of the band about that.
Okay, fine. I can set things up on my end. And in the morning, you just put a spell slot into the stone that you've got, and it'll connect you right back to me.
Okay.
More than okay. Cool beans. So, from your perspective, Well, I don't know how you managed to piss off you pissed off an Arohani family with an estate in Menacil?
Yeah, he's like Harathan Guresh 40, 30 something of his house. I don't.
Oh, they have a lot of children.
Yeah. Dad
Right.
didn't seem to think he specifically would be an issue, but that all of that would be an issue. We also pissed off a few other families that are like in Garandia. So we like exposed their. But
are you sure you're in a band? Like you do music for a living?
we solve mysteries too. It's our shtick.
You also solve mysteries. Okay, I think I'm starting to see what's going on, and you've sort of been tugging at the threads of sort of conspiracies and things like that. Okay.
Yeah, I think we bit off a bit more than we could chew. A little bit. I don't think the other bands are. I mean, it would be a crazy coincidence if there were more than one band in this competition solving crimes and stuff. That would be wild. You should make a show out of that.
That would be, especially if there was some sort of crossover event that's planned at some point down the line. That would be
weird. That would be weird. Yeah.
Really bizarre.
But that's what's happening.
Okay.
Right now. I mean, I can gather up my like notes on stuff and send you what we have because some of it's probably important to like official people. But I didn't want to talk about it with Dad other than trying to get some information.
Here's the issue that we're dealing with that specifically right now. If you send me information about ongoing stuff in Garandia, you are technically a spy and therefore don't have diplomatic immunity.
What if one of my bandmates spoke to you? Would they also be a spy?
I mean, not a national, so that would help, but it still wouldn't be great. It's certainly better.
Could I tell you once I got back there?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. You can tell me when you get back here. I truly can't speak to the work that your father is doing because I don't know what the work is that he is doing. There is a reason that your father and I, decided not to talk to you about certain things. On the one hand, there's a professional level of the national security and the things that we sort of do respectively that we don't necessarily talk to one another about either. And on the other hand, we are both trained specifically to deal with this kind of thing and trained specifically in combat to deal with these kinds of things.
And closing portals to other realms?
Yeah.
He said he learned that from you.
Yeah. So, you know that my work is closely tied to the work that happens sort of in the Thorgrove government and the fact that we have some issues with portals to the dreaming that happened, right? That is the reason why I have the skills that I have, which include the ability to close portals. And there was an incident near the Garandian-Thorgrove border, and the Garandians sent a group of Watcher Paladins to do that, and we sent our Horizon Walker Rangers to deal with that. And that's how your father and I met. And he came and spent some more time in Thorgrove dealing with some specific events. And during that time showed very strong aptitude for ranger abilities and picked up quite a lot while we were working together.
And you did too.
That's one way of phrasing that, but yes.
Honestly, I don't know what you saw in him. You're way better than him. You deserve way better than him.
I'm sorry that your father has let you down in your interactions with him, that you think that. I only ever knew him to be a good man.
Then why didn't he stay?
He is driven. He has... Your father and I talked a great deal about something, and it's a personal goal of mine where I am, and it's a personal goal of his where he is, and they're separate. We talked about the kingdoms and the system whereby the kingdoms are separated as they are. And I expressed that it is such a shame that the elves are split into 3 kingdoms and 3 peoples, and there's such animosity between them, where legend would say that once we were one people, and he expressed the same thing about the human kingdoms.
Is that what he was talking about in the letter to you that I found?
You opened a letter of his to me?
A little bit before I left, yeah.
What did it say?
The gist of it was they're all lines drawn in the sand by children. We just have to walk around them.
He would often bemoan the fact that it is agreements, it's words between people that keep these situations from being resolved. That these situations in the different kingdoms cannot be ameliorated because some king sometime said there will be no interference.
Yeah.
And it's sort of the same with the elves. Somebody decided at one point that we were going to gang up on the dark elves, and that their voices would be invalidated. And the result is that those people have been terribly mistreated over the years, especially since the fall of Lolth.
Yeah. Sorry for reading your letter.
Thank you for apologizing.
I should probably go to bed so that I can speak to my friends about what we've talked about, and then I'll get in contact again tomorrow. But is there anything else I should know before we sign off?
When dealing with somebody who can dream or work with nightmares, make sure that you are very safe when you go to sleep.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
There's a lot going on, and I don't want you to feel as though I'm ignoring any part of what you've told me.
There's just a lot.
But there is a lot there. And I want to help, and the best way that I can help is to get all of you here as quickly as possible.
Okay. I'll talk to the I'll talk to the group.
Okay. I will talk to you tomorrow.
Well, love you.
I love you too.
Sleep well.
You as well.
Has anyone gone to bed for the night?
Are people still awake? Are people... Tombar is asleep.
Tombar's asleep. Are
Lydiana's
you guys awake,
restlessly
or have you
sleeping.
gone to bed yet?
Lydiana's restlessly sleeping.
Restlessly sleeping. Okay.
What time is it?
That's a good question.
I retired pretty early.
Yeah.
So I think it's fairly likely you guys some of you might still be up. But I had a long conversation with my mom, so.
10:30 maybe? 10:30?
Oh, I think Gnurgle will be making his way up at 10:30.
Yeah, I said Isabyn will probably be in the bar still.
Okay. I will go to the rooms where people are asleep. I will go and just check in on them. And then I will lock their door. Is there a way I can lock their door from the inside and then close it? Like, is there a way I can lock it on the handle?
No.
Okay, I'll just close it. And then I'll go down to see whoever's up. And I will say, I had a word with my mom. I told her some of the stuff that's been going on, and I'll wait till we're all together to kind of go through all of it. But for now, we have the option of seeking refuge in Thorogrove. With everything going on, she's gonna work on that, and I'll go over everything with everyone tomorrow. But I just wanted to let you know, and she did have a bit of advice that when dealing with people who can dream or work with the nightmare, to make sure we're safe when we go to sleep. I mean, I don't know what that means, because I'm a bit like, locking our doors. Is that going to make a difference to people who can get inside our head? But I just thought I'd let you guys know so you can take whatever you feel are appropriate measures.
Do you think we're in a lot of danger? That she wants to protect us?
I don't know if it's one of the things going on or the fact that there are so many things going on. I don't know if each one independently would mean we would qualify for this, but I think it's the everything all together kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I'd let you guys know. And she'll just go back up to bed, lock her door, make sure she'll keep a dagger under her pillow, but otherwise her other stuff she'll keep further away from her bed. But yeah, she'll go straight to bed. She's exhausted for the day.
Cool beans. Anything from Isabyn after this conversation?
Isabyn's a little bit concerned about this, obviously, but she's not going to make a decision for everybody. She would want everybody's input, so she's happy to let it ride out till the morning. But she definitely locks her doors when she goes to bed, and she's happy she's had a skinful, so she can drift off to sleep.
We are in the morning after It is a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for me.
And we're feeling good.
And we're feeling good. How's everybody doing this morning? Do you all congregate downstairs? What is up?
What's the vibe?
What kind of breakfast do they do at the end?
Ooh, today they're doing omelets.
Oh, snazzy.
Yeah.
So it's a la carte. You have to order, yeah?
Yeah.
It's not like...
No continental buffet.
Yeah.
It's not a continental buffet. I'll say that there are sort of breakfast items, which are the continental buffet area. So there is toast and orange juice and bits like that, like cold bits that don't need to be heated up. And then you can sort of order your sausages, your bacons, your omelets, your mushrooms.
Interesting.
Your baked beans.
And this is the low end pub as well, isn't it? So that's not bad, really, is it?
Yeah, they've got a pretty good service here. This is probably more high end than the places that you have been up to this point.
I was expecting just porridge.
They got porridge if you want it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I like porridge. You mean you can really pimp up porridge, can't you?
Yeah,
Dad
you
doesn't
can.
make porridge.
You can make porridge essentially a dessert, can't you? Very quickly, with a lot of brown sugar and cinnamon and
A little bit of maple syrup.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm good for that, actually, I think. Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm just gonna have well, Tombar being Tombar, he's gonna like just like a freaking ridiculous stack of pancakes. And he's gonna be like walking down in his underwear, scratching his left cheek. And just go around the back end of the kitchen and start cooking like it's his own place.
Truly, it takes no time at all for you to be booted out of the kitchen. Yeah. There is a very sort of very intimidating, well-built man who you'd expect to be sort of a soldier, in an apron, in the back, sleeves rolled up, sort of ordering people around. You come in and start cooking, and he goes, "Yeah, that's not happening. No way."
Oh, it's a bit harsh.
He'll like take you by the shoulder and kind of go like, "You got to order on the other side. We'll make whatever you want, but truly get out."
All right. Okay. No, I'll have some pancakes then. A nice big stack of pancakes. Is that on the? Yeah. Is that cool?
That's more than cool. That's
order off the a la carte menu. Big stack of pancakes. Are there any kind of like? We're in a fictional world. What kind of magical ingredients extras can I have? Like pixie dust.
Yes.
Unicorn tears. Can I have like a unicorn tear syrup on there?
You definitely can't. Unicorns are way too rare.
All right. What
How
about?
do you make them cry?
Yeah, you'd find unicorns. You'd find sea unicorns out by the coasts, and you would find normal unicorns probably in the deep places of Thorogrove.
So it's like the Madagascar vanilla bean, really. It's that level of expensive.
It's not a matter of expensive. It's like there's not a supply. Most people who are after unicorns aren't after their tears. Let's just say that.
All right.
They'll live a half-life.
It's unnecessarily opulent as well, isn't it? You know what I mean? I can imagine there's a lot of trauma being dealt to a unicorn tears for it to be put on as a condiment for your pancakes.
Yeah, no,
Probably some like
vegan.
really
Vegan,
messed up high elf family.
That's like a warning sign. If that ever shows up, you're like, this is not a good place to be.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. I'll just have the pancakes. I just have the pancakes.
Yeah.
Just have the pancakes.
Salt, sugar, pixie dust.
The pixie. There's like a mountain of pixie dust formulating on the top pancake.
To the same degree that putting that much sugar or salt on a thing is just egregious, that is what doing that with pixie dust is like.
Yeah.
But 100% you can do it.
Great.
Wonderful. Lydiana, how are you doing this morning?
Good. I was going to order a plain mushroom omelette and ask Bobby to make it a shroomy omelette for me. I'm feeling pretty ropey from the night before.
Gnurgle can certainly sort you out. I mean, what kind of effects? How are you kind of feeling? What can I do for you, Lydiana?
Is this a shroomy mushroom omelet?
It is, yeah. I'm looking to actually try and be on some sort of level playing field. A kind of a positive hue would be good, and something to save me delving too deep would be great.
You don't want anything melting you out or dropping you down. You need a nice little pick me up for the day. Gnurgle rummages through his top pocket and he says, "I have something here for you." Are you presenting the mushrooms now? Did we agree on that?
We
found the mushroom list, didn't we?
It's up to you. We had a mushroom list, so you can use the ones from the mushroom list that you have, or we can use the actual magic mushroom guide table from Tasha's.
Yeah, mate. Let's. I just enjoy having the mushrooms, the effects, and all that. Go wild. Do you know what I mean? That's more the fun for me. Do you know what I mean? I don't need to be in control of my destiny with the shrooms.
Very cool. I'm just trying to find
control
at the moment. Why don't we do it this way? Lydiana, can you roll me a d10?
Yes.
If you have Tasha's, it's on page 166.
Mm-hmm. 166.
It's going to be online somewhere. Let's have a look.
It's a very pretty illustration. I would show you guys, but doubtless my background would mess it up. I tried showing things too many times to know.
So I'm on a D10.
You're on a D10.
And I rolled a 1. The creature's skin turns an unusual colour.
Could you roll a D4 for me, please?
D4. Yeah, here we go.
I just read the last part of that.
What happened?
Hot pink with yellow spots.
Absolutely.
This change is permanent unless removed by greater. Okay, so I look like Mr. Blobby then.
Geez, my dear, seems like I was saving that for another occasion. Mushroom, I'm afraid. I wouldn't worry about the effects; they will eventually wear off. But then he rummages through bits of scroll and it's terrible news. It really isn't. Let's talk about how we can get rid of this veg for you at another time, shall we? How does it taste?
She's kind of gagging as well.
The only thing I can think of as an equivalent is from the Sword in the Stone movie when Madame Mim
such a good film,
gets infected with Merlin.
That moment tripped me out so much as a kid. I was like, what's going on?
Lydiana slumps over her xylophone.
Oh no. I am going to, when I edit this episode, I'm going to edit in this picture. Just so everybody can see what the hell.
Oh, it's the best Mr. Blobby. Never seen Mr. Blobby before. Freaking terrifying.
Yeah.
Truly
frightening thing.
This is someone with a crazy connection to the Shadowfell.
Yeah. I need to get back quick. She's proper anxious at the moment.
Josh, have you got any ways to send me the list of shrooms?
I will take a picture and send it to you in a private message.
Amazing.
Or maybe I'll just even put it in the group so that everybody can see it.
Oh no, just leave it. Just leave it with Auntie Ralph.
Okay, I'll leave it with Auntie Ralph.
And I'll divvy out mushrooms that I think are fitting for certain requests.
Okay, all right. Ralph picture send. Because some of the other ones are weird in different ways, but are definitely like not permanent. And some of them are really helpful. Yeah, okay. So your skin is hot pink with dots. Little polka dots now.
Great.
Yeah.
Great, a restoration spell. Bear with. Hold on.
It's such a high level spell.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while. It's like probably not even within what this campaign will get to.
Oh, shit.
If we go back to Thorogrove, I'll maybe ask my mom. Maybe.
Oh, it's like level 11. You get 5th level spells, so like a primary cleric would get this at like level 11.
Yeah.
And we're at 4. Okay. It's good to know though. So it won't take a master cleric, just somebody who's very strong. All right. I understand that this is not necessarily a super fun effect for it to go on for a very long time. So there will be somebody within the near future who can help you.
Okay.
Just enjoy it for the moment, make the most of it.
Okie day. You guys are having anybody else's breakfast order.
Just order some porridge, I tell everyone.
Just order porridge.
Isabyn gets some bits for herself, and then she gets a bit of cheese for eating. And she also puts some fruit in her pouch for later. She likes to have snacks.
Yep.
Gwen was down before everyone else, but just was in a corner, and she just sort of had been there for a while and had blended in a bit. And she had gotten like good proper bread, like with some butter, and then some berries on the side. And she got herself a pot of tea that she's now on the 2nd or 3rd cup from, and has just been kind of flipping through her notebook and trying to put things together, and looks up a bit when Tombar gets thrown out of the kitchen, and it goes back to what she's doing, and then looks up a bit when suddenly she has a hot pink bandmate, and at that point she kind of realizes her alone time is done. Alone time's over. Once everyone's down, she'll go over to the table and kind of be like, say her good mornings and ask how everyone slept, and then she will be a little bit distracted by there being a hot pink person there, but she will do her best to try and stay on track, and then she'll sort of sit down and relay what she went over with her mom the night before, and just saying, I don't know what I don't know how you guys all feel about this, because I know you guys are like, I'm from there, so it would just be me going back home. I don't actually, Lydiana, I don't actually know you have folks there, but I know that we had kind of set out to do this thing, so I didn't want to just assume everyone was gonna want to.
Oh boy.
Bless you.
Sorry.
And, folks were just gonna want to abandon the competition and lives they may have here, and I don't even really know what to do myself, so I but I figured obviously I needed to tell you guys that's an option because.
So,
Bless
Tombar
you.
is the pixie dust is making him sneeze a bit, and like there's like this mold, this is like rainbow colored spray
Oh.
from his nose and mouth as he sneezes.
Mm-hmm.
He goes over to Gwendolyn. Let me get this right. You're a fully grown, independent woman who, after having a conversation with her mother, telling them to come back home, is now deciding to follow the rules and be responsible when you're like in a rock band living a badass lifestyle, and you're like, you should be like, no, screw that. Let's go on the road and continue the adventure. And you're being like, no, you know what? I think I might go home. And it's like, you're a rock star. Be a rock star. You know,
That's
Keith
why I thought I'd
Richards-
talk to you guys about it, because I'm aware I'm only getting one side of things. But I will
No, but
also
you got any of
point
those
out that
shrooms?
I'm good. Again, looking over to Lydiana, I'm good. Thanks. Also, just so you know, that pixie dust, people think it's cute, but in about 4 hours from now, it's gonna get back at you. Trust me. I got friends back home. So, thoughts? She's very disturbed by the pixie dust thing because she knows pixies. She's like, this is a weird practice you people have.
Grinding up pixies.
She's like, is it? She assumes it comes off of them, but she's not quite sure.
Like pixie parmesan.
Parmesan, God damn it.
That's my band name.
I loved how sassy that was. Then it's like, right now, you think you're being cute. You're being cute. Okay, so
Pixie Parmesan. Oh, that's good.
I must say that I do find your family dramas quite interesting and entertaining. I'd be quite happy for you to chase up this as long as I can bear witness to the stuff that unravels. It's just like watching Jeremy Kyle.
I'm glad it's fun for you.
Yes.
I'm not even being sarcastic. I'm genuinely glad it's fun for you. Because it makes me feel less bad about it being a thing that we have to think about. Because I really came here to not think about it. And now we do. So I'm glad it entertains you.
Yes.
It serves a purpose then.
That would be the copious amounts of narcotics and mushrooms that make me think that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a multimedia experience.
Very much so. I'd be quite happy for you to indulge in other activities if they need completing. I'll be there to help hand.
Thanks.
The other thing I'm just tossing into the ring is that you have not yet spoken to the general, who was the person that Edgar Galana said was somebody who was another person who could offer protection.
Okay.
So I'm just throwing that in there.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Isabyn is quite keen to not. So she was say to the group, she's quite keen for them to not abandon the battle for the bands. And she remembers what he just said. There's somebody who might be able to protect us. So why don't we go and see him before we make any decisions about anything? But open to the group. It's a democracy.
I think it's good we explore all of our options, yeah.
Yeah, let's explore.
What does Lydiana think?
Lydiana's got lots of built-up angst and has been sharpening her little daggers, wondering what to do with them. And if we're going to speak to someone about protection, it means we're in danger, which excites her. So she wants an adventure, and is keen to take her anger out. And is happy with that.
Cool beans. I assume you guys head over to the central keep to meet the general.
Yeah.
Ciara
Yes, we
Alunet,
do.
is that who we have here?
Ciara Alunez. You guys head over to the central keep. You can see that it's busy again today in the streets. It seems like there are even more people sort of making their way through the city, going back to Aruhan. Yeah, so a lot of people sort of heading the same direction, but more interested in going through the North Gate than going to the central keep. The sort of the city guard seem to be extra vigilant. There seem to be extra people around, just like surveying crowds and making sure that everything's all right. In terms of the central keep, there are some guards who initially will not let you past, and will just ask you to state your business at the keep. And immediately, with your 20 charisma, they look to Isabyn for this answer. I'm automatically assuming that you were in charge.
Even though I'm the smallest.
Yeah.
I like that.
What's the dude's name again?
Ciara Alunez.
Do we know it's a dude or is it a lady?
No pronouns have been used up to this point. Whatever assumption you would make.
Okay. So Isabyn walks to the front quite sort of confidently and says, "Well, we're here to see the general.
Right.
Can you let us in, please?"
Go ahead and roll me an insight check super quick.
Mm-hmm. Bear with. 13.
13. Okay. You just notice that these professional people are extra willing to do what you ask. One of them's like ready to let you in immediately, and the other one kind of goes, "Wait, do you have any sort of invitation letter? Do you have the other guy gives me looks. I know. Do you have anything sort of inviting you, or any sort of marker as to what your business is? Can we ask what your business is here?"
And Isabyn doesn't, but she just sort of says, "We don't, but we were told that the general would be expecting us at some point. He just didn't know when we would be arriving. So if you just tell him that Isabyn is here with her band, he'll know what that means and he'll let us in. So if you could just run along and do that, that would be great."
Didn't we get a coiny thing?
Yes, we did. And
Yeah.
thankfully, my colleague Gwen has remembered we have a coiny thing. And if you show him that, he'll probably let us in.
Cool. Again, these guys sort of give each other a look. And one of them goes, you better just go with them. After like having a look at the coin and being all like that. Yeah, 100%. In you go. I think the general is in a meeting at the moment, but if they're expecting you, they're expecting you. And one sort of stays behind and one goes with you, and you go through the central keep. Again, this is a fortress. This is meant to be sort of last line of defense. Should the city be invaded, and it looks like it. It's got those narrow arrow slit windows, stone walls, suits of armor and things on the walls. You can see the area that leads to the barracks. You can see armory, stash, mess hall, and sort of the more business war room areas are up the stairs. So he leads you up the stairs and opens sort of a double door and leads you inside. Inside, you see a low table with one of those, with a map of the city sort of ingrained onto it, sort of like a war map. Some human sort of lieutenants stand around a figure who is much closer to Isabyn in stature, wearing full plate, and like with her sort of helmet resting on this table, but otherwise like heavy plate mail armor, turns to you. This is a woman who looks like a middle-aged Isabyn. Look, that's so strikingly similar. It's crazy. Her eyes go wide looking at you. Doesn't actually just like stops in the middle of her sentence and doesn't keep going. Everybody else sort of looks around and kind of goes like, not sure what to do. There's this potent pause. Okay. 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 I'm gonna need the room, guys. I'm gonna need the room. These guys, these like lieutenants and people like look around and is like, yeah, sure. Yeah, that's whatever you say, boss. These guards sort of shuffle out of the room, leaving the band. And you sort of, you can see like the gears turning. Okay. You must be Lynn's girl.
Lynn?
Good to... What?
Lynn?
Yeah. I know you're not my kid. So... You've got to be...
Who are you saying I belong to?
Do you not know who your mom is?
No.
Oh, kid. Runes glow on her armor, and it sort of like becomes transparent and like translucent almost. And she will like fully come over to you and like try to get you in a hug.
Isabyn is not particularly happy about this. And she sort of takes a little step back just to keep some space. And she's like, sorry, who's Lynn?
Lynn's my twin sister.
And you think that she's my mother?
Yeah, I do.
Did you know that I existed until right now?
God, no.
Okay. I'll give you time then. Because if you knew I existed and you did nothing, and this is where you are, then we were going to have a problem.
Yeah, I should think so. I have a problem with your mum right now.
Good.
If you don't know who she is, you don't know where have you been?
Where have I been?
Yeah.
She and my father, I assume, put me in an orphanage. They told them that I was called Isabyn. And that was it. They left. Off into the darkness, never to be seen again. You're the first person that I've ever met, possibly from my family.
I don't understand. I don't understand what happened. Your father...
I was a baby.
Your father is a piece of shit, and I could imagine him doing that, but your mom, if she was going to leave you somewhere, she should have left you with me. Not in some orphanage in... This is a day.
Perhaps we could all take a seat.
Sure. You all want to sit down? I could do with that.
Tombar's already sat down. he's already sat down, like just puffing on a pipe.
Sure.
Like...
Isabyn's a bit too aggy to sit, so she kind of paces around a bit.
Sure. You actually see that your aunt does the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then kind of sees what's going on and sort of holds herself still.
Do you still see her? This Lynn?
I haven't seen my sister Lynn. How old are you, Isabyn?
I am 25, a quarter of a century. 25?
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen your mum in 26, 27 years.
And what was the last thing she was doing when you saw her? And why haven't you seen her since then?
The last thing your mum was doing when I saw her was going after your dad.
Why? Where was he going?
Truly, Asmodeus knows. Like, you're getting a lot of information in a day, and I'm trying to be considerate of that, but your dad is a piece of work.
Well, to be quite honest, right now, I think that my mum is as well. So.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that...
I haven't thought about them for years. Not years. As far as I was concerned, they were dead.
It could be, for all I know. The basic rundown is that your mum was great and believed in justice and valor and loyalty, and your father, I can only assume is your father. I mean, he was a con artist, a bum, a thief who fancied himself very dashing and debonair and was just a piece of work. And for whatever reason, Lynn was smitten with him. And when he left, because of course he did, she decided to follow him. And that was the last time I spoke to my sister.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, if I find her or him, or you find her or him, let's get in contact so we can both beat the shit out of them.
I'm going to look for them, just so you know.
More than fair. More than fair. Don't blame you.
Are there more of you? Do you have any other siblings? Do I have more family that I'm just going to run into?
My father is still alive.
Wow. Okay.
You never looked for your sister? Because you're certainly in a position that you could have, can understand how being hurt, but a father not looking for his daughter like that.
I, as you say, have pretty excellent connections, and I haven't heard anything from them. I knew they were I knew her father intended to leave Gorendia. I even know where he was intending to go.
And that was?
The most dangerous place I could ever think of. Nausicaa.
Can I sorry, I hope I'm not interrupting him, but can I, for like good measure, just roll an insight check? Insight's when you check to see if anyone's lying.
Absolutely. Absolutely roll insight.
Let's insight this biatch and see what's going on.
The last thing you said, Gwen, we did not hear.
Oh, that was me talking to myself saying, we have a map with that on it.
You do have a map with that on it.
Yeah. It went the wrong direction, though.
Okay, let's insight away.
Can Isabyn roll one as well?
Yeah.
May I too?
Yeah, everybody can who wants to.
Isabyn's got a 19.
I've got a 15.
Yep.
Plus 1, 16.
Right?
19.
14, 19. Is anybody else rolling?
Lydia got not one, so.
Makes sense. Dealing with.
Brilliant. Yeah, reality and dreams are mixed up in Lydiana's head. And it almost looks like there are two Isabyns right now, and that's tripping you out. For sure. I'm going to say for everyone except Isabyn, this is a very angry woman. It seems like she's not lying, and Isabyn, you're seeing genuine anger and a genuine truth in what she's saying, but there's also something else, and that is there is just a tint of an element of wanting to say the right thing for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To save me being hurt.
Yeah, and her first sort of bat at that was trying to connect with you on a rage level. Because you get the feeling that that's the easiest thing for her, is to just be freaking angry and to be like, you're also angry, let's both be angry together.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries. But yeah, Tombar, who initiated that, you don't think that she's lying about this.
Okay.
So Isabyn is like, she's got quite her outer shell at this point is quite sort of hard, and she's quite sort of masking stuff, but inside she's like a whole like bag of screeching cats running around. Frightened, scared, but she's absolutely not showing it.
I would like to. I know that you must have come here for something else other than because you knew that I was a relation of yours. I would like to help you with whatever business you came for, and Isabyn, if you are at all interested, I would love to spend more time with you.
Okay. I'll get back to you about that one. But in the meantime, we were given a munto by Edgar.
A munta coin, a marker. Sure. Can I see that?
I think Gwen has it.
I'll hand it over. I can't believe that I didn't put the name of that coin in my notes in the past, because I clearly forgot that was what that was called.
Indeed.
And I got it wrong.
No, it's all good. She grabs that's sort of silver marker, has a look at it, kind of tosses it back to you. Edgar's, yeah, sure. Edgar's in town. If he wants a favor, I suppose I can do that for him. Fine. What is it specifically that you guys are looking for?
I am looking for a pointy black sails. That's the one I need to look for.
You're looking for... Yeah?
Yeah. So I'm looking for pointy black sails.
Okay.
So I need to just side quest pour moi. Look for Mr. Pointy Black Sails, but yeah.
Right. You're looking for Mr. Pointy Black Sails. And that's the reason Edgar Galanis gave you a Lunta coin to talk to me?
No, but it could be useful.
Okay.
It's for protection. We found ourselves a little bit caught in things that are above our pay grade.
Sure. Yeah.
He says there are things that he can't necessarily deal with. So,
if Edgar Galanis can't deal with it, then you've come to the person who can.
So this is something you can help us with? You can offer us protection?
Yeah, 100%. This is my city. Nothing comes in or out without my knowing. Nobody gets hurt without me knowing.
But you say that, but you didn't know I was coming.
No, I didn't know. Nobody mentioned to me that my niece was in town.
Well, now you know.
Yep. Now I know.
we're supposed to head on to see Master Ilani after this.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. She will want to keep that coin. Let her. Fine. I basically, if I decide that nobody's going to hurt you in this city, it will take nothing less than an invasion to draw my attention elsewhere. So you have that guarantee from me. Unless, well, no, I suppose I would still technically be protecting you if you committed a crime, because then I'd lock you up. And nobody gets to my prisoners either.
Gwen, when the general's not looking, will kind of just look over at Tombar and be like, no stealing. And then look back. She's like, I don't want us to get put in prison, please.
At this point, she will take a second and try to like calm herself, and then she will look at Lydiana and just go like, what happened?
I don't know.
Cool. That's something that we can deal with.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, 100%. We'll get a cleric in here in a minute to deal with that. What exactly are you looking to be protected from, if I may ask?
Gwen, do you want to explain?
There are a few people who aren't all that fond of us, but I believe what this particular protection is for would be protection from the Legazi cabal, namely Brandon Legazi.
Okay. Easiest way to deal with cabal members is anti-magic fields. They can't cross them, so that's all good. Tell you what, I can set you with rooms in the central keep, and we can set up something closer to home if you're interested. Giving you a detail outside of the keep is technically possible, but it's a lot easier here.
Gwen will look around at everyone else.
That's pretty good.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds pretty.
You have much
I've also got-
experience? Oh, go ahead.
I don't know. I've also got some magic powers, so.
Those won't work while you're in an anti-magic field.
Oh, right.
In your head, Tombar, you just hear a little voice that goes, just don't bring me into an anti-magic field.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Oops.
That's okay.
That's not
I
great.
should be okay as long as you leave the book outside the anti-magic field. I should be okay.
And if you're in the anti-magic field,
I'm not sure. Either I will be suppressed until I leave, or the magic that tethers my soul to the book will be extinguished and I will leave this mortal realm.
oh no, that's not good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll keep you outside the field. What I'll do is I'll be like inside the field with my one arm sticking out.
Sure, or you can like find a good place to hide me.
Can I put a non-anti-magic field around you?
No. Believe me, that's not how anti-magic fields work.
Okay, cool. I'll make sure you're out of it.
Cool. Thanks. That's just a little tidbit for me. We'll figure out the details later.
Really.
What was Gwen gonna ask?
Just what the general's experience with the Legazis was.
They're a pain in my ass, is what they are. They've been trying to get a solid hold in Menacil for a long time, and had some degree of success before I took over. But it turns out if you're strategic and methodical enough, you can deal with elements like that. My understanding is that there's an open underworld bounty on my head for quite a lot of money because of them. They're a friggin' cancer, and from what I understand of Brandon is that he's a particularly difficult one to fight because he can invade your dreams and attack you there.
You come across him yourself directly?
No. No, I haven't come across Brandon. I've only ever come across one of their number. An older gentleman.
What did he look like?
He is a... How do I explain what he looks like? Because Brandon's really plain looking.
Does he look like a 60-year-old man with short gray hair and carries a black twisted staff by any chance? Or
No.
not carrying? Okay.
No, not that man. No, this one looked like early 30s, black hair, black robes. Still looked like a fighter, but with sort of a black cloak on him. And we talked. He tried to talk me into letting them do what they wanted in this city, and I told him that he could try. And that was the last I heard of him. That was what, 17 years ago? The Cabal could do a lot of damage here, but they ultimately would expose themselves and start basically a civil war with the royal family and the Garandian army by doing that. So there's sort of a non-aggression pact between them, and they own the underworld, and the royalty and the army. I've told them very clearly that they are not operating in my city, and so they operate other places because they know I'll be willing to pull the trigger on that war, and a lot of other people won't in the army.
And that's why Edgar Galanis sent us to you.
Heck yeah. Of everybody who knows about the Cabal, which is a small number of people anyway, most people would rather not have their territories, their cities, their people, their soldiers put in danger from these very magical immortals. I'm the one of them who's sort of it's almost like it would be an empty threat and they'd be able to get away with a lot more if I wasn't the one who was actually willing to do something about it. That makes sense. Yeah. Right? Because most people aren't willing to do anything about it.
She'll kind of look over to Isabyn and then look amongst the rest of the group and say, well, we'll need to discuss this. Make sure everyone's on board.
Right. This is awkward. Who are the rest of you? What are you, an adventuring group? Are you like like I didn't even bother to ask. Forgive me. I got thrown for a bit of a loop there.
Tombar immediately gets up before anyone gets the chance to speak, and is like reaches over and like puts his hand and goes, "Well, I am Lord Tombar of Snorkleton."
Are you now?
Yeah. And these are my friends and fellow bandmates. I am the drummer of the reserve list, and together we make the band the reserve list.
Got it.
Isabyn's our manager. And Tombar rather condescendingly like pats Isabyn on the head. At which point Ito just comes out and like bites my finger.
Damn straight he does.
Yeah, Isabyn, you see that that Tombar introduces you as the band manager, and she gets a little nod of approval, and then smiles openly with mirth when Ito bites Tombar's head. Like, thinks that's great. Okay, you're a band. You're civilians. You've been caught up with Brandon
musicians. Well, civilians, musicians.
Musicians. Okay, that works for me. I can work with that.
We should probably also let you know the Gurashes may not be entirely fond of us either. I believe they have a house in the city.
If the Gurashes are not fans of you, you're great in my books. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Gurashes. I think we can work together for sure. Okay. I will set up chambers with anti-magic shielding. I will get a cleric for Ms. Lydiana here. Is there anything else? Tries not to look directly at Isabyn and look at everybody, that I can do for you all.
Well,
yes, you were looking for
pointy black sails.
Pointy black sail, indeed.
Yeah,
there is a pointy black sail.
Mm-hmm.
What did you get on your insight check?
On my insight check,
yeah, was it 16?
It was a 16, yeah.
So 16. She does hesitate before she continues. She says, there is a pointy black sails. Pointy black sails, it runs the risky reagents shop in the Merchant's Quarter.
Love that.
Interesting. I don't think I believe her.
You can't tell what that was, but there was something.
Something's up. Can I do... What would another insight check do?
You're going to use the 16 for this one.
I'm going to use a 16. Okay. Can I do a... Oh, what's... No. Insight? No.
So yeah, but all I'm saying is that you've made your check for this person.
Oh, yeah, I've done my insight check. But what's the other kind of check? It's not insight. It's...
Investigation?
Investigation. Let's investigate. Let's have a... Just for good measure.
Sure, go ahead and roll me an investigate.
Let's do this. Booyah. We've got a 15.
You got a 15 investigate?
Mm-hmm.
Boom. You've done some matrix training with Short Sam.
Yeah.
And have started to become quite a bit better as a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking, this woman is fully like half your size. You're looking at Ciara, and you can tell this. You can feel the gap in your abilities with a 15 investigation. You can see she's obviously got some kind of magic armor on. She's a general. You see that she has various like little accolades on one shoulder that you recognize as being like battle prestige, which is not a usual thing for Garendian soldiers who don't necessarily see a lot of action.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So something's up.
What you can deduce is that this person is extraordinarily dangerous.
Oh.
As a personal fighter.
Interesting. But she's short. Yeah.
She's a halfling.
She's a bit of a Yoda then.
Not quite as short as Yoda. Think more like a Samwise Gamgee, Frodo Baggins
right
sort of height.
Okay.
You have seen Isabyn kill a man.
Out of all of you, Isabyn is the only one who has killed a man.
Yeah. Remember that, people.
Oh, actually, that's not true. Brandon as well, technically.
Have I killed anyone? I'm pretty sure I killed someone.
You killed Brandon Lagazi.
I did, yeah. Well, kind of.
You separated him from his first body.
Yeah. They're divorced. Okay.
There you go.
Oh yeah, I guess now I need to go to that place. What did you say it was called again?
Risky Reagents.
The Risky Reagents. And what is the Risky Reagents, may I know?
The Risky Reagents is an alchemist shop.
Interesting.
And just like a herbs and ingredients.
And this dude's like well over 300 years old, but that's cool because he's an elf.
Yeah, exactly.
So elves live a long time. Wow, that's trippy.
Elves can live up to 750 years.
That makes them great historians, I guess.
Especially high elf, druid, like high up druid elves.
Druids have an ability at the very high levels which slows their aging down to a crawl. So a high elf druid or an elven druid could live to be over 2,000 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what living 2,000 years old would be like. Sweet.
Or even longer. I can't remember.
Yeah,
exactly.
it would, depending on when, if they got to be a high enough level druid, they could probably live to be about 7,000 years old.
Right, because it's like 1 in 10.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Seeing if I can find it. Timeless body, starting at 18th level.
1 year for every 10 year. 1 year for every
Yes.
10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Indeed.
That's hefty.
It is.
Cool. So we're going to this place.
And she will say, if Edgar gave you this to give to Master Ulani, the reason he's doing that is so that you can be trained, so that you can look after yourselves in case things happen. Ulani's great. She will find a discipline for each of you to hone your skills, whether you're magical or not.
Groovy.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time.
Isabyn, I know that we are strangers at this point. On behalf of my sister and my family, I feel she's saying this openly. It's not like she's asked anybody to leave. She's like, I feel a responsibility towards you. And would like, in whatever small way I can, to provide for you something in the place of the nothing that you got.
She's not really sure how to take this because she's never ever had a relationship with a family member, so she's not really sure how to react. She doesn't want to be rude, but she also doesn't want to give too much away either.
She'll say, take your time. Just think it over. I'm not saying that we need to be super close, or that it needs to lead to anything. I'm certainly not suggesting that I be a surrogate mother to you in any way. You're a grown woman. But if there is a way for me to help in any way, whatever that looks like, even if it's sitting down to a meal and telling you where you came from, I would like to offer that to you.
Isabyn's quite touched by that, and she just says to her, okay, I'll come and see you when I'm ready.
Amazing. Guys, that's where we're going to leave it off tonight. Ba-dum-bum. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you players so much for playing. We will check in next time. Goodbye.